pikemen have long been associated with the Swiss army. These heavily armed infantrymen played a crucial role in many battles throughout history, but how did they get their start? What made them so effective, and why did their numbers eventually dwindle? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to our channel, where we bring you the craziest and most interesting facts from human history. Some of the events we will discuss in this video may be shocking, but we assure you that everything here is true. So make sure to watch till the end. The Swiss pikemen was a type of infantrymen who fought in the early modern period. They were known for their distinctive weapon, the pike, which was a long pole weapon used for thrusting. The Swiss pikemen was a highly effective fighting force and was feared by their enemies. Their pikes were typically 18 to 20 feet long and were carried by soldiers in groups of 6 to 8 men. This allowed them to form a protective circle around themselves, making them very difficult to attack. But where did the Swiss pikemen come from? The origins of the Swiss pikemen can be traced back to the late medieval period. At that time, Switzerland was a loose confederation of cantons, or semi-independent states, which often found themselves at war with their larger and more powerful neighbors. In order to defend themselves, the Swiss cantons began to raise large numbers of infantrymen to form their armies. These infantrymen were armed with a variety of weapons, including swords, spears, and shields. However, as the centuries passed, it became clear that these weapons were not enough to stand up against the heavy cavalry charges of the knights and nobles who led the opposing armies. In response, the Swiss began to experiment with new and longer weapons. One of the most popular was the pike, which was a long pole weapon that could be used for thrusting. The pike was ideal for use against cavalry because it could be used to keep the horse at a distance, while also being effective against the mounted knight. As the Swiss pikemen became more widespread, specialized pike squares were formed. This was a type of formation that consisted of multiple ranks of pikemen standing shoulder to shoulder, forming a solid wall of pikes. This formation was extremely effective against cavalry charges, as well as against enemy infantry who were unable to get close enough to use their weapons effectively. So, when did they disappear? The decline of the Swiss pikemen began in the late 18th century. This was due to a number of factors, including the increasing use of firearms, which were more effective than pikes. Pikes were also very cumbersome weapons, which made them difficult to transport and maneuver. Additionally, the Swiss army began to be more professionalized, which led to a decrease in the number of pikemen. By the early 19th century, the Swiss pikemen had all but disappeared. Do you find the Swiss pikemen interesting? Why do you think they were such an effective fighting force? Let us know your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our future uploads.